So
And
everybody,
greetings, Marte.
please. Oh, there's my friend again joining.
Okay.
Everybody, please. If you have anything to say, say it while you have your turns. Remember, we have a procedure which is to getting a cue for asking questions, and afterwards we'll have an opportunity of all sharing in whatever manner in a free format. Today,
And
of course, yes, Ray.
oh, I was going to say, and I'm assuming we're going to have a small break in between
Yes, we will.
myself and Artur. Okay.
Exactly. We will have that as well. And let's see, we got anybody else coming? Not at the moment. So I think this is the group. With that, I'm going to turn it to Ray. Ray has been channeling a number of different entities already here for us and the Pleiadians. This is not the first time that they come through. And so I see that they are in the house, and we turn ourselves to Ray. And please, I'm going to mute everybody, and we'll see you on the other side of the questioning session. Ray, unmute yourself.
I didn't
Perfect.
think you were gonna mute the host, but boy, that was just phenomenal what you missed.
Go for it.
As we were saying, thanks to Luis for being the host and co-creating. And our message before we get to the questioning portion is to remind you to get outside as much as possible to connect not only with the sun and its energies, but also with any nature which is around you, which also wishes to connect with you. And by focusing on any object which is from Gaia in a relaxed state, you can achieve that frequency match and help bring that information and energy to you, which will help balance not only your energies of the moment, but allow balance in your physical symptoms and in your mental processes in some way as it clears away static, we might say. And we are open for you.
So I think that we're going to start with Liz tonight. Please,
Oh,
Liz, come forth.
hi. Uh, Thank you for the advice on being in the sun, being outside. My question is related to the sun energy. Is there a different level of energy between um like sunrise, midday, and sunset?
In some ways, there are different energies which are projected based upon where you are at on the planet and also during the times of the day. This coordinates not only with the sun, but with the moon as well, as both contain energies and frequencies which interact with the earth structure, so to speak. But the sunrise has a special meaning which has been placed and imbued in it, in that energy over the millennia that various creatures have been upon the earth in your timeline. So that energy which has imbued in that happiness which is contained at seeing the sun rise has been fortified over and over again by all our the majority of species on your planet. So that momentum helps carry those healing energies and those joyous attitudes, we will say, to the sunrise. Now, the same is not as true for the sunset, although some people do react with reluctance to see their light being taken away from them in some ways. But usually, those who do that are in the vast minority, and they are more than balanced out by those who worship the stars and the moons and the planets that they can see once the sun has disappeared below the horizon. There is also the intense artwork of the sunsets and sunrises, which are captivating to almost all individuals who value nature and who have that sort of connection. You will find that many of them are called and their logistics work out to where they can see that, and that reminder of that beauty and majesty is reinforced within them. And I'm sure that the channel is not alone in saying that they or we need to get out and view that more often. Oh,
Is there still benefit, oh, sorry, to be out when it's not sunny at all, when it's cloudy and raining?
the energies of the sun, as you know, do penetrate and warm the earth, and there are many, many energies that are within it, some of which may not even be realized by your science with their energies, for they do not realize that all stars, planets, nebulas, comets have consciousness. They are only able to detect what they are looking for in some ways. So while it does have benefit, the true benefit is also based on the individual's belief. When people see lots of cloudy days, since humanity is based on their physical senses to navigate their reality, they kind of lose track of the beauty and the warmth of the sun if it is not present within them and on their face and they can feel it. So, in some ways, it is, we will say, clouded over the energies. So they are not nearly as strong because there are those other connotations in those co creations which are affecting it. But you will still see people who smile and provide their own sunshine on cloudy days. Those are the people we wish you to emulate.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
And we were going to add, if you are looking for a sunburn, then the high noon is probably the prime time for you, but we do not recommend that.
You've read my mind. Thank you.
So, Ina, please.
Okay, I'll change what I was actually because you were talking about sun. Um, I want to ask you, I do love sun. I do. When I was young, I spent whole days on the beach, like whole day, and I got burned, but it was whole day. But now I can't do that. So this time I developed something like sensitivity to my skin. I can't do even for a couple minutes. And it kind of upsets me because I do love the beach still, but I cannot be on the sun. So why it happened to me? I mean, I have some ideas why it happened, but I would like your input why it happened and how I can heal it, how I can be again whole again on the beach.
Well, have you changed locations from when you could be out and when you couldn't?
Oh yeah, of course I'm in a different country. Yeah.
Well,
Um, yeah.
we were just going to say that depending on where you're at, the particular latitudes or longitudes on your planet, the sun's rays have a different effect and they come at a different angle. And all of that is pre-planned and part of the operating manual, you may say, to provide the variety that Gaia needs to sustain the maximum number of species on the planet in cooperation and unity, we will say. The sunlight is also greatly affected by the impurities in the air, which is why the higher elevations with their less particulate matter feel the sun a little stronger than those who may be at sea level and not necessarily by the sea in the sun, but they have, or if there are smoggy areas or things of that nature, then those little pieces also absorb sunlight and keep that energy from reaching the ground in significant ways, we will say. Now, we also understand that your beliefs also affect that. And I believe that that is what you have entertained as well. But you will find that even if you wear light clothing, you still enjoy the sunshine. And although those rays will not be stopped, they will mitigate some of the harmful effects. And there is also, the channel is not aware, but there are some dietary adjustments which can make you more, which can make those negative influences, we will say, that you feel a little less predominant in that. But we do not have that information, but we do know that it is there.
So I would like to know if it's possible. What
I,
would
that is understandable.
um okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ina. Milo, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you for being here. What I'd like to know is your role in your society and what effect that has on your day, on your life.
Well, the particular role is in this function as a group. And although we have many different individual consciousnesses that participate in these, and they may come in and go as they please or as the flow dictates, we are more of the, we shall say, observers and educators and recruiters to help benefit all of our seventh dimensional beings which are interested in such explorations. As non-physical beings, we utilize other forms of consciousness to obtain information to a large degree, and that is the particular desire of this particular group that is coming in. They are greatly interested in observing the ascension and the open contact individually and collectively occurring on your planet, although they are not participating, or we are not participating directly. The information which we receive is from many species on your planet and beyond, for we are dedicated to finding as many observation points or perspectives in which to get a more total picture of the events we are interested in.
Thank you. How exciting.
We're going to go to Christian, who has a question.
Hello, nice to talk to you.
As well.
So you mentioned that you kind of function as recruiters. What sorts of things are you looking to recruit, or what qualities are you looking for when you're doing this recruitment? And for what purpose, please?
The recruitment aspect has been relayed to the channel to help us obtain other individuals who are willing, and we don't wish to say worthy, but high vibrational enough to allow us to contact them during the physical states so that we may not only upgrade their energies so that they may handle our energies and more varied energies related to contact, but so that we may easily come and go as you please and observe their perspectives on the coming ascension and contacts. The individuals who are more apt to have personal contacts before the global extraterrestrial contact events are more of interest to us. And as we have a wide variety of timelines from which to choose, there are certain indicators which help us pinpoint those individuals who are most likely to allow us to interact with them. And in return, we hope to provide them with the DNA awakening and biological changes to allow them to handle the greater energies which will be coming as humans in some way slide from their denser forms into a lighter body.
That's awesome. And what kind of indicators are you seeing? Is it like a energy vibration sort of thing or something else?
That is a fine way of describing it. There are specific things that we look for within frequencies, and there are many explorations into the dream states to assess readiness, and not only by our species, but by other species, and such as the Sasani or the Greys or other beings who are related to the open contact and personal contact events. While we are able to access the individuals in their dream state, we more or less depend on those energies representations that are emitted by others who do that work firsthand, so to speak, to help us indicate those who are ready. And as you are aware, your personal vibration gives off different emanations and is a distinct signature. And once you have vibrations above a certain threshold, then you trigger more of an interest, let's say. An analogy would be you have scholarships to give out to a high school. You are going to look for the top students if they are based on educational merit. You do not consider all and look at all of those students who are flunking out because that is not your area of interest.
Gotcha. Well, I think I'm happy to say I'm glad us here seem to be spiking on your vibrational Geiger counter. Thank you.
Yes, and we must add that you are the ones who are spiking on your Geiger counters. We are merely observing.
Ina, you have a question slot.
Hello again. Hi. Um, I would like to talk about body, our physical body. First, I was thinking today, I'm curious how it was actually designed. Who designed our body? Because the more I do a lot of embodiment teaching, and it's like I get fascinated. I just looked to my hand today, and I'm like, the way design, the way your hand, what it can do, it amazes me. It's so fascinating. So that's part one, who designed. And the second, I feel like our body is being changed now. And if you can talk about what's actually being changed right now. Something maybe we don't know yet. What's happening to the body now?
Well, and we are pleased to know that there are several individuals on this call who are chomping at the bit to tell you who designed your body. For it is you indeed who chose every last cell and property and pathway and probable pathways for the body which you currently inhabit. After that, you have free will in what you put in it and what you do with it, which changes its function somewhat. But to go a little deeper, the natural formation of humans is unique, as there are no duplicates within nature in all of Gaia, in all of its existences. So your particular qualities, down to the number of hairs on your head or your hands or anywhere else on your body, has been predetermined not only for its uniqueness, but its suitability for the pathways which you are meant to be on. Now, there are more considerations which go into that. For some people are just destined to be have a face for radio, you might say, whereas others are elect to have a role where they are have a more symmetrical face, which is valued by a lot of those who are appearance driven and attracted to that. But those are, again, are personal choices and part of the soul path, which is pre-planned before you are activated in a incarnational role, we will say. And as for the second part about your body, we are pleased that you find so much amazement in what it can do and how it is designed. And we know from the channel that the movement and flow of the body is a specialty and a language for you, which you choose to express as often as possible.
Yeah. But I feel a lot of changes is now happening. With our ascension, something is happening, definitely.
Yeah, and thank you for that reminder. There are many energies which are increasing in not only number, but in intensities, as there are many beings which are interested in viewing and assisting humanity and supporting all of the species on your Earth collective in helping them ascend into the new Earth, which is coming. That trek into fourth density means that you will be subjected to even greater frequencies. Your bodies, if they do not receive those adjustments, will have difficulty responding to those additional energies. So all species on your planet in these timelines are being adjusted somewhat. The purity of form that you have, especially in the realm of hydration, is very important in these roles and these transformations. And there are a lot of people and to some extent animals as well, which feel a little bit unnerved because their body seems new or foreign, or they have unusual feelings. There are many who also have indicators of ringing in the ears of different vibrations and lengths. And sometimes it feels or it sounds like even codes of that sort of thing. Those are generally communications from outside your physical realm to alert your body of coming changes that it can prepare for, and also direct communication with your cells, or to provide markers or information for other beings who are assisting in the uh, renovations of the bodily forms, we will say.
Yeah. I have this. I have this sound sometimes in my, yes. Sometimes I have flashing lights in my eyes. So I don't know. Thank you
It,
so much.
yes, and
Thank you.
depending on where you're at in your vibrational frequency range and the abilities of your body to handle any of those changes, you will have different experiences than someone who may be right next to you. But rest assured, you are getting all of the changes which your body can handle as soon as you are able.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Patrick, you have the floor.
All right. Hello, cousin. Do
We
you
are
have any information that you can share about the Pleiadian and Chaco Canyon?
we are aware that there are resonances there. There are energy. We don't wish to really say portals, but we do not know that that is not the correct word. But there are more ease of access for certain types of consciousness and energy residues there from previous explorations by various races. Being not physicalized, we have a general idea of some of those. And through the various discussions that this channel has been participating in, then we understand that there are lots of energies that are there, and we may not be aware of all of them. We do understand that if it has a draw to you, then there is definitely something there. Like an intuitional message, if you receive it and you have the impulse, then it is worth following up.
Thank you. Thank you. I know the Pleiadian, it's a large cluster. Do you have any sunflower there?
Since we are a non-physical race, no physicalized objects are within our reality as you would know it. Now, we do have references to your particular sunflower on your earth realm, and but our familiarity is more with the energy being portions and not so much the physicalized humans. We do these type of explorations because it is necessary to obtain the desired result, as we are fine-tuning physical bodies the way that you would focus a telescope so you can get clearer pictures of different lights or planets from farther apart. Well, does that help answer your question, or do you need further details?
This is wonderful. Thank you so much.
So it is my turn here to ask a question. My dear Pleiadians, I have noticed in nature this year that everything seems to be blossoming and very fertile very early, and abundantly so. Like trees that normally hardly produce something are producing, for example. And of course, I observe the sun daily, and I have noticed that the quality of the sun continues, besides the intensity of its solar magnetic activity, the quality of the sun continues to seem to me to be integrating better in nature, better and better. Could you comment on this observation?
Well, there are several different ways to view this, because in your areas, while there may be changes which you assume are different as things thrive and show up and die off in different time frames that you are used to. Gaia overall is trying to balance those energies. And in that harmonization, for every area that is suffering from undue heat, there are other areas which are being drenched to the point of flooding for several days. The overall balance is what Gaia is trying to coordinate. And of course, there are many, many energies and beings who are related to that as well. And as we might say, they may have their work cut out for them because there are challenges which were not part of the original script or blueprint, we will say, for your planet. But free will does have its way of eliciting changes which are unexpected depending on your perspective. We suggest that you enjoy those now moments, and as you have been so apt to notice, take pleasure in those events which really evoked the joys in you, and to celebrate those, and to not sink too low, we will say, when the weather chaos or turmoil occurs, for in truth, you all create your own weather. You all create your own blooms. You all create your own air quality in every raindrop. But it is a collective process as well.
Thank you. I yield the floor to Liz.
Thanks, Louise. Hello again. You mentioned earlier that there's no physical plant on like where you are. My question is, have you communicated with any flowers or animals on planet Earth here?
Those particular beings, as we see as different forms of consciousness, are not the focus of our engagement, we will say, with your particular planet and timeline. We are more in tune to the creatures which move, although some trees are involved as they are important as stewards and energy keepers and have much energy to share even with us. But we generally do that through, we will say, through other mechanisms other than directly. But the individuals and the creatures which move, they require more of a upgrade assistance, we will say, whereas the plants and the trees and other energetic beings are able to adjust their biology to prepare them for the coming changes as they feel and they sense those things that are on the way. The humans could do that, but they generally are focused and locked into their 3D, their dense world. So they do not think about the coming energies and the coming ascension and to prepare for those things as they would if they knew they were going on vacation. They would be more apt to pay attention to the things which they will need in the future. We wish that more of them would focus on being at their best in their physical form to help them weather these energies. If that is a bit of a sidebar, but does that help on your question?
Have you communicated with animals on planet Earth?
There are those of us who are more interested in the animal species, and there are quite a wide variety who will permit and who enjoy these sorts of interactions more. We will say those which are interested, those are other groups of related to us which are interested in those particular life forms generally choose those ones which have fewer interactions with humans to get a more natural outlook of how they perceive the coming changes and the effects of personal contact and a variety of energies impacting them, that is the focus of others. Our particular focus is more on the human aspect, and in some ways, some of your other primates. But in that case, those two are generally focused on the ones which have lesser human contact, we will say.
Thank you.
Alan, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. My question is, I'm wondering if there are any large solar flares that are coming up in the near future.
Well, as you know, there are always going to be solar flares. For not only does the sun need to put out excess energy, the real question for you would be the solar flares that affect your Earth collective, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We just wanted to specify. And that also depends on what energies are needed where. And please understand that even if there are such large solar flares, that there are other beings which temper the impacts of those and regulate them in ways not only before they're emitted, but after they are emitted. So, yes, there will be more coming. No, we will not provide a timeline, and there will be some surprises before the end of the year regarding those, because almost there are several different challenges and changes which occur or will occur in your timeline in unusual manners. And we will leave it at that. But your natural forces have been upset and seek harmonizing balance as well. And the changes on your social landscapes shall be reflected in the changes on your physical landscapes as well.
Okay, thank you.
Christian, you have the floor.
Thank you. One of the interesting things that's kind of come up in the group here is a lot of people have a connection or a fascination with New Mexico, which is a place where I was born and raised. Do you have any commentary on what this connection to New Mexico or spending time there might be?
We understand that the energetic places, as people raise their vibrations and become in contact with more of their energetic self, and they accept all, well, not all, but that they have had numerous lives in numerous places, those which are more relevant and more significant in their current incarnations will call to them more strongly than other ones that which they have had, we will say, not only on earth-based, but on other realms as well. The call to that is also a unification of individuals and groups, because the energy resonance which can be achieved between groups who have like-minded purpose and who all are passionate about the exploration of self and following those their curious impulses, we will say, especially in groups, really accelerates the vibrational ranges which they are able to reach and maintain. And the energies which are in those particular places can help amplify and help them maintain those in some ways. Virtually all humans are aware that there are places which affect how they feel. And all of those are not emotional, of course, but are related to the particular resonances that impact them on other levels, which can then be felt or in some ways interpreted by the individuals, although rarely with the full story, we will say, just enough to say maybe or have the thought that I felt that, or this is weird, or something out of the ordinary, which they are not able to conceptualize properly because they do not have that proper focus. But the fact that you would have that is an indicator that, yes, if you explore that mentally or ask your higher self for that, or especially, of course, before the dream states, you may obtain more information about those connections. Now, that particular area has a lot of significance for those who may have had Native American or even to some extent Spanish conquerors which have come into that area, and they were also amazed by the energies which they found there, some of which they did not understand, but which they tried to communicate to others. And if that is one of your counterparts, and we are more apt to say it would be more of an indigenous aspect for you personally, but it was before the white man came, as they say, then you would be drawn to those natural aspects and those energies which you were not only cognizant of, but which you could use and utilize in ways which would not be present in your present incarnation, we will say.
Got it. So kind of a cool place for the group to vibe up together in the land of enchantment.
And to provide the other additional avenues of exploration during the journey and the journey back as well. For those are easier, we will say, when the excitement level is amped up and you are less dense, you are more open to receiving such impulses and acknowledging the meaning of them.
Thank you.
Milo?
Yes, thank you. I have a question that's related to my dreaming self. During the past few months, I've noticed something that is unusual for me. And as I've checked in with different friends, I've found something similar happening with them. And that is my usual pattern is if I wake and I remember a dream and it feels significant, I move relatively quickly to record that with pen and paper. Otherwise, it seems to dissipate, lessen, shrink, and become quickly forgotten or integrated into my everyday life. However, recently, what's happened is that disintegration seems to either not occur or be occurring really, really slowly. For example, a couple days ago, I had a dream. I didn't record it with pencil and paper. And 7, 8 hours later, I was able to recall it in very, very vivid detail with almost no degradation. And I was amazed by that. And that seems to be a pattern that has been happening with me and with others that I've talked to. Could you comment on that and help me understand the significance for me or for the planet at this time, referencing that?
Yes, and this will have to do with your own personal frequency vibrational range. As you increase and as the human society and all species increase in their vibrational range, you move yourself closer in some ways to the dream state, which is more of your natural state. And in those easier access in those less dense forms which you have, you are able to receive more of the relevant information and bring it back with you because there is not such a distortion from the resonance of viewing it and experiencing it in your waked time as in your sleep time. So once you experience something that's impactful for you in your dream state, if it is relevant, then you will bring more of that back. And that is also part of preparing you for the first contact events which are to come, because there will be other representations by other beings which are testing people, and mainly people, we will say, to ascertain their readiness for first contact. So the more that you are able to become comfortable with strange dreams and things that occur which do not make sense and accept them as real, the better you will be equipped to accommodate the reality of strange beings coming and affecting you in ways which may be uncomfortable and very exciting. And having that group with you, which also is having the same, we will say, vibrational access to pull those dream states and those messages within them, you will also find that together you may find similarities which may not always indicate shared dream experiences, but may indicate certain aspects of dreams which are relevant for you in a small group or maybe for a slightly larger group as well, as there are many different aspects and layers of dream recall, which mean different things to different people, but they may also have relevance beyond the physical world that you know and the dream state in which you participate.
Thank you. A little bit of a follow-up. I often will experience a kind of disorientation as I integrate into my 3D reality, where it's almost as if the dream is with me so strongly that my connection with this reality, this 3D reality, seems to be a little out of balance somehow, or different than it has been usually. Could you comment on that?
The aspect of having a higher vibrational frequency enables you to explore beyond, and you freely leave your bodily self. You do not have that specific grounding that you once had, as you are not fearful of leaving it behind or not being able to get back. And your identity is not based in your physical form like it was before you began your spiritual ascension. And you knew that you were an energy being having many experiences on the planet in many different realities. Once you understand and identify as that free form being, then it is somewhat natural once you find a landscape which is interesting to you and which you can playfully explore and excite you, then you have some hesitancy to go back into the limited form of your physical being because you consciously wish to explore more of that special place, we will say, where things are new and exciting and occur in different ways, as opposed to the sluggish 3D manifestation which you have placed yourself in. However, at some point, you do understand that you chose this role for a purpose. And although it may take a slight nudging from other energy forms or your higher self to remind you that, yes, you do need to go back, then that hesitancy can be perceived energetically by certain portions of you, which help manifest your physical form, and you bring that energy back with you, which explains a bit of an unease. Now, also being away from your body for an extended period, it it kind of makes it stale, we will say, in ways, and it is not reactivated immediately. It takes a little bit of warming up of your engine in order to regain full capacity, if that makes sense.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Heidi, you have the floor.
Hello. So I was kind of getting interested in this part of the conversation. We were talking about solar flares, and I've been wondering about Earth's magnetic field and how it affects and how it may or may not affect human consciousness, like our intuition, our ability to raise our vibration, making it easier or more difficult. Is there any connection there
Well,
between, go ahead.
so please continue.
I was just going to say between the Earth's magnetic field and our consciousness, our vibration.
Well, the Earth's magnetic field is not only conscious in its own right, but it has a formal purpose in protecting and energizing certain parts of your planet and individuals within you, as many species have minerals within them which are affected by the magnetic realm. But we would not say that it has a direct impact on humanity per se. It is more a tool for Gaia, like the ley grid lines of the energy aspects of which surround your Earth, not only close to the surface, but higher up, hundreds of miles even. The magnetic forms would not be so affected by the solar flares because they have integrated all of those situations and they are aware of what is coming, so they can alter their ability to transmute and to handle in some ways the various energetic types which are coming. Now, some of those are part of the plan or the flow of the natural flow, we will say, of the events which will occur on your planet due to the effects of the overall creation of the Earth collective. So there are some variables there, but they are all with a purpose and part of a plan. And as all of you on this call know, there are no coincidences or accidents.
So it sounds kind of like what you were describing, where the electromagnetic field, which is conscious, um, can sense when things are coming in and make adjustments for our protection or Earth's protection. Is that what you're saying?
But that is, it is more complex than that, as there are other beings who and energy forces which are also supporting and helping to change things which affect your planet in the physical way. So it is not merely that the magnetic forces or those consciousnesses within it are doing this work all alone. It is mitigated by other forces and other beings which are part of the support group, we will say, of the Earth and for Gaia, if that
Ah,
helps.
yeah, that's beautiful to know. Thank you.
So we're going to take another question from Alan, and that will be the last question for this session. Alan, please.
Yes, thank you. Re recently, a discovery supposedly has been made on the planet that underneath the pyramids in Egypt, there is some kinds of structures or devices below it that extend down a couple miles below the pyramid. Could you comment about this supposed discovery? Is there truth to this?
We will say that there are many such unveilings and discoveries which will be coming forth and will have more public knowledge. Now, the real importance of events like that is to allow you to choose. Do you believe that those are real? And if so, what impacts do you believe they will have? The overall aspect of them is to make people wonder and to think back about, well, these past civilizations had all of these wonders. What other wonders did they have? And that mental exploration can help put them in contact with other portions of themselves and open them up to impulses and leanings or hints which will help expand them into areas which are beneficial and more aligned with their soul path. So the idea of it being real or unreal is not really the sole purpose of that. Although in this particular case, there is more to that story, which will be known in due time. But the real purpose is to put people in a wondering state so they are more receptive, and that will help to bring about more realizations of other things which have not been manifested physically or which have already occurred and have been covered up in some ways. There is much to be revealed. And although that is not the direct answer to your question, we hope that it does shed some light on why this event is coming to light now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. With that, we're going to close this session. Pleiadians, thank you for being here with us today. And we're grateful 1 in a million times for all you have brought forth in every one of these sessions.
It is a
Thank
joy
you.
for us to connect through the channel and in your dream state, should you wish it. And may you bring those dreams back with you.
Thank you.
We recede.
Welcome back, Ray.
Yeah. Hi, Ray.
Oh my gosh.
Where have you been?
Yeah.
It's really kind of strange that the Pleiadians come in so fast and they just kind of drain me when they leave. And the beings of light, I guess it's part of my process. But as soon as they're done, I'm more energized, I think, than I was when I started. And it's just, I don't know. I guess there's a reason for it. I don't really care what it is. It's just what I notice.
But when you started to connect to the Pleiadians, wasn't that process a bit different than the beings of light as well?
Well, I don't, in the beings of light, I invite lots of other energies in. For the Pleiadians, I don't, because I can't really say that the beings of light are not always here, but I have the different process, I guess, and that because that supports my beliefs and puts me in a better spot and really amps up my energy when I invite all of those beings, the elementals, my descendants, ancestors, Sasquatch energy, the hybrid children, my heart circle, the beings who interact with, who participate with me energetically in my physical experience, and those who wish to speak through me. And I have a more direct connection, and the Pleiadians were waiting for me to get to a high enough level and learn those lessons so they could connect. So that's why they come in so fast. I mean, I if I just think about them and I put my hand on my knee, then boom, they're starting to come through. And I kind of get the giggles and a little bit of a like somebody just gave me a whole bunch of extra oxygen. You just get this little like, oh, I feel kind of light and good. And then, that's kind of it. And yes, Liz, the voice is different. And I don't know if that they choose a different resonance for that. Like I know with Chuck and with Serge, for the most part, their voices are really similar. You have to really pay attention. Whereas with Tom and Ely, I mean, we get an accent big time, and Arla loses her accent when for that at least the way it's discernible to us. So I guess it's different strokes for different non-folks.
Beautiful. We like that. So
Thank
with
you
that,
all.
you're welcome, Ray. Thanks to you. My God. With that, we're going to close this session. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll take